Hello, people who are not me. I am Sire Goku, and I am back to finish up the classic series of Mega Man with Mega Man 10. Starting off this LP, we find our hero with his family. The roll doesn't look too good. She apparently has a fever. Oh. So Dr. Light is quick to diagnose the fact that fact. He's quick to diagnose that Roll has contracted a new robot virus known as Roboenza. Yes, Roboenza. It is the robot version of the flu. Because why not? But that's not the biggest problem. We are once again back in 20XX. Even though it could easily just be, any time during this year 2000. But there is a new threat of a robot illness known as Roboenza, which has started to infect all the robots of the world, causing them to malfunction and go in, bad stuff. And seeing as this is the Mega Man universe, humans don't know how to do jack all without robots to help them. So losing all of their robots would be quite a problem for them. I guess it's not that big of a surprise. I mean, if all of electricity shut off for the world today, we'd be pretty much boned too. I mean, we rely a lot on electronics. So if the entire society is based upon robot labor, then yeah, it's going to be a problem. But here's the bigger problem. The infected robots have turned violent and are destroying the world. Again. Wily. Apparently, it's not just Light that's having issues, because even Wily's own robots have turned against him and are starting to attack and are starting to rebel against him. Well, apparently, though, Wily has been developing a cure for Roboenza. Okay, but are we just going to accept the fact that he has tried to, take over the world 9 times at this point, 10 if you count Mega Man and Bass, which I may do eventually, but right now I'm just going in numerical order, and Mega Man and Bass can wait, because anyone that's played Mega Man and Bass knows that that is by far the most difficult classic game of all time, unless you're playing as Bass, in which case, then it's moderately difficult. Still hard, by the way, but not nearly as hard as it would be if you're playing as Mega Man. But because we don't really have much of a choice, because Roll is sick, we kind of need to find a cure anyway, so we may as well work alongside Wily, despite the fact that he's tried to take over the world 9 times in the past. However, the difference for Mega Man 10, Mega Man is not going in by himself this time. No, Proto Man is going to show up and help. And this time you don't have to spend $2 to play as him. He is unlocked right from the start. It's a shame, though, too, because as I mentioned in Mega Man 9, if you got it now, if it was even possible to, the shop channel is down, so you can't really buy extra stuff. So we're at Mega Man 10, one of my personal favorites, and we'll have Mega Man, Proto Man, and yes, Bass is there too. Bass was the DLC character for this game, much like Proto Man was the DLC character for Mega Man 9. We have the same menu that we had back in Mega Man 9. I'll bet more better music, honestly. I personally, I'm going to get into this now. Unpopular opinion, I know, but I personally think Mega Man 10 is better than 9. Not by much. I still really like Mega Man 9. But anyway, you got achievements like you have in Mega Man 9. But unlike Mega Man 9, I actually beat this game without taking damage. Booyah! I got the perfect achievement in this game. Yes, I managed to do it in this game, but not in Mega Man 9, because Mega Man 9 is just way too hard to get the perfect achievement. I'm sorry, but it's just way too freaking hard. But anyway, you got Mega Man. We'll start a new game. You can choose between Mega Man, Proto Man, and if you bought him on And if you were able to buy him, you can play as Bass. Anyone that's seen Clement J64's run of Mega Man 10 will understand what I'm going to do here. You have 3 difficulty options to pick from. You have easy, normal, and hard. This is the first game since American Mega Man 2 that's had a difficulty select. But for the purposes of this playthrough, I'm going to try and show off. I'm going to show all 3 characters. But, well, I'll get to that in a second. Like Mega Man 9, you also have a shop. Unfortunately, I did this. I'm doing post-commentary for this because I'm going to show off all 3 characters, and that involves me having to switch around different files and all that. So I'm sorry if my gameplay is a little bit faster than my initial commentary here. But you have all these. You have basically all the same items that you could buy from Mega Man 9, including the hairstyle book if you want to have Mega Man have his helmet off and take double damage. But we're going to go in my preferred order, starting with Blade Man, which kind of had some jokes about him because there was an issue in Nintendo Power a long time ago, back when Mega Man 5 was being teased or talked about. Yeah, Mega Man 5, and there was a contest going around to have kids in America design Robot Masters for future Mega Man games, and Blade Man was one of the Robot Masters that was shown off in that Nintendo Power magazine. About 15 or so years later, he's finally used, so whoever drew him probably doesn't even remember the fact that they put him in there in the first place. But anyway, this is Blade Man's level, and I am already not getting the perfect achievement because screw it. I did it once, I'm never doing it again. As you see in this pause menu, I have 3 weapons already. I'll get into what those are later, because they're all DLC stuff. But I'm gonna try to not use any of them in this playthrough until I talk about them more. But for now, let's talk about Blade Man's level. Blade Man is typically the Robot Master I go for first, and I think he's probably the easiest of the Robot Masters we got in this game to start off with. It's also been a long time since we've had an actual castle-themed level in the Mega Man series. That's not an actual Wily Castle. The last time we had a Robot Master stage that was castle-themed was in Mega Man 6 with Nightman, who also was a design used from an American, but I talked about that back in Mega Man 6. Right here we've got ourselves our mini-boss, this tiny castle that has like cannons on it, as well as this little garage that keeps spewing platforms out, and I'm doing a horrible job of fighting this thing because, well, it's kind of hard to dodge the cannon that you're closer to. Once you take it out, though, it's not that bad. You just keep jumping and shooting. If you're doing this as your first run, or as your first stage, it might be a little bit tough. But really, it's not that bad, and it gives up the white flag like it's Mario, and then the fortress explodes. So, yay. Man, I love the music for this game. This is by far my second favorite OST from the Mega Man Classic series, next to Mega Man 2, because yes, I am one of those people that thinks Mega Man 2 that picks Mega Man 2 as their favorite. Not because it's overrated, no. I grew up playing Mega Man 2, so it's one of my favorite games of all time. However, I think Mega Man 10 is my second favorite of all time. It's that good. As you saw there, unlike Mega Man 9, you can switch between your weapons by pressing, well, I'm playing the game, if you're playing the Wii version, and you're using a classic controller like I am, you can just press L and R to switch between weapons on the fly like you would in Mega Man 9, like you could in Mega Man 7 and 8. If you're using the Wiimote, which don't, because the small frickin' D-pad makes this game unbearable to play sometimes. But if you are playing it with this side with the Wii remote, it's the A button and the B trigger that switch between items without having to open the pause menu. And that's really confusing. Also really hard not to keep hitting the B trigger. Anyways, enough about that. The main gimmick for this level is this seesaw that you're watching me ride on. Every time you jump on it, it'll move forward, and then you have to jump backwards and hit it to keep it moving forward. If you wait too long, you'll start hearing this beeping noise, which is going to signify that it's about to scroll all the way back to the other side. So you have to be kind of quick. Also, don't jump too high, otherwise you're going to jump into the spikes and you're going to die. But we're already at Blade Man, because the stage is really short. Unlike Mega Man 10, the stages get... unlike Mega Man 9, I should say, the stages aren't... And the stages in 9 weren't that long either. I unfortunately had to re-record this because when I was trying to do the commentary beforehand, it was majorly desynced, which is a shame because I managed to beat Blade Man without getting hit. As you can see, his pattern's very simple. He's going to hop into the ceiling and throw 3 blades, then he's going to hop on the wall and throw 3 blades, and he's going to keep repeating this pattern over and over again as long as you keep running towards him. If you give him more time, though, he will do a jumping attack at you. He'll dive at you, which will then reset his pattern, but if you keep moving towards him and shooting him while he's on the wall, then he's just going to keep repeating this pattern. So he's very, very simple to beat with the Mega Buster without getting hit. If you're playing easy or hard mode, the only major difference in hard mode is that he moves a lot faster, and he throws 5 blades instead of 3. And if you're playing on easy mode, he throws a lot slower, and he throws 2 blades instead of 3. But with that done, unfortunately, I couldn't beat him without taking damage, even though I can. I just screwed up, but whatever. We absorb his power, and we get, well, we'll see what we get. For defeating Blade Man, we get the Triple Blade, which is one of the most broken weapons in this entire game. It shoots 3 blades in a row. See, and the closer you are to the enemies, the more damage you'll do. So if you're right next to an enemy, it counts as hitting 3 times in a row. So it does a lot of damage. And here we have the shop. Some of the items are a little bit cheaper than they were in Mega Man 9. Bolts are now 20. Extra lives are now 20 bolts instead of 30, and energy tanks are 30 bolts. And you have Eddie, which you can use to have him call. You can call Eddie to get some items for you, because Eddie doesn't actually show up in the main stages like he does in Mega Man 4, 5, and 6. Beat carries you out of holes, and then you have the spike protection like you had in Mega Man 9, as well as the energy balancer. But folks, as I said before, I'm going to be playing this run similarly to how Clement J642 did his run. So in the next video, I'm going to be going in weakness order, and we will be taking on the next Robot Master with Proto Man. See you guys then.